Hello, I'm so glad you found your way here, a place for curious souls who also need a moment of rest, where science is no longer just numbers and data, but a gentle lullaby guiding you into sleep. Maybe today has been a long day, full of thoughts and noise, or maybe you're the kind of person who prefers to drift into dreams through stories of the cosmos and starlight rather than counting sheep leaping over fences. However you arrived, tonight's journey belongs entirely to you. You don't have to do anything at all, just breathe slowly. Let your body grow lighter, as if gravity itself were melting away from your shoulders. Let your mind relax, your breath settle into a soft, steady rhythm, like waves folding gently against the shore. The sounds around you begin to fade, leaving only a tender stillness that wraps around you like a blanket. In that quiet, you can feel the faint rhythm of your heartbeat, a rhythm that now moves in harmony with the turning of the universe. Because tonight, we're not just watching the stars. We're going to drift together through our true home, the Milky Way, a vast spiral of light, dust, and dark matter, spinning silently through space for more than 13 billion years. Beneath its radiant beauty lie countless mysteries, lonely stars wandering through darkness, invisible forces keeping the galaxy from falling apart, and ancient remnants from the dawn of time. We'll glide softly through its spiral arms, following the ribbons of light that curl around its glowing heart, where a supermassive black hole sleeps in silence. Then we'll visit the stellar nurseries, places where gas and dust intertwine, where new suns are born, igniting the heavens with their very first breath. Tonight, you'll hear the strange and beautiful story of a galaxy that is still growing, still changing every second, a galaxy that is both our past and our future. Some of what you hear may surprise you, or perhaps simply awaken a quiet curiosity within you. Just before your eyes close and sleep finds you, and if these moments bring you peace, let your thoughts drift freely and let the light of the stars lull you into your dreams. Now then, let's begin. The Milky Way, our home, has collided with other galaxies before, and one day it will again. That story is still unfolding, even as you gently drift into sleep. Our galaxy may seem like a steady, eternal home, but in truth, it was built from the wreckage of others. Over billions of years, the Milky Way has absorbed smaller galaxies, pulling them close, tearing them apart, and scattering their stars into delicate tidal streams that now wrap around its disk like shimmering threads of memory. In the dark expanse of space, faint traces of those devoured worlds still drift quietly, glowing like the afterimage of creation itself. The Milky Way has never been still. It was born through countless collisions and rebirths, a long dance of gravity, light, and time. From the earliest ages of the universe, it grew by consuming smaller galaxies, fusing their stars and dust into a single spiraling body. With every merger, billions of stars change their orbits, spreading across the galactic plane, shaping the graceful spiral arms we see today when we gaze up into the night. At the outer edges of our galaxy, the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy is still being torn apart. Its stars, once bound together in their own quiet cluster, are now stretched into thin streams, slowly folding into the Milky Way's arms. This silent disintegration is proof that our galaxy is still alive, still growing, still reshaping itself moment by moment. Far beyond, About 2 million light years away, lies Andromeda, our neighboring spiral galaxy, moving steadily toward us. In roughly 4.5 billion years, Andromeda and the Milky Way will meet. It will not be a violent crash, but a slow, majestic union, a dance of light and gravity unfolding across eons. Their stars will swirl and interlace, their shapes blending until they form a single, larger, calmer galaxy, carrying within it the memories of both. The Milky Way is not a static structure. It is a living system, forever moving, consuming, and renewing itself. Like the universe it inhabits, it is always changing, always expanding, always retelling its story through light. And if you listen closely, in the stillness of the night, you might just sense its rhythm, the slow, tranquil heartbeat of a galaxy still growing in the quiet infinity of space, high above the spiral arms of the Milky Way, far beyond the glowing disk where our sun drifts. There are stars so old that they remember a universe without galaxies. These are the halo stars, ancient travelers, born before the Milky Way was even complete, still wandering quietly through the vast, dark halo that surrounds our galaxy like a faint, invisible ocean. They are not bright, not young, not rich in color. Their light is soft and pale, almost fragile, the kind of light that feels tired from having burned for more than 12 billion years. Scientists call them metal-poor stars because they were born before the universe had time to forge the heavier elements that fill our world today. They carry mostly hydrogen and helium, the simplest building blocks of creation. Every atom within them was shaped when the universe itself was new, when there were no planets, no dust, and no place yet called home. These stars move differently too. While most stars in the Milky Way follow the graceful spin of the spiral arms, the halo stars drift slowly, freely, as if untouched by time. Their orbits are long and uneven, crossing above and below the galactic plane in wide, ancient arcs. From our perspective, they appear to float in silence, the oldest souls of the galaxy, gliding through the night like memories that refuse to fade. If you could watch them over millions of years, you would see them weave through the galactic halo like tiny sparks, tracing invisible paths through a sea of darkness. They do not belong to any one place. They are remnants of forgotten galaxies, survivors of the Milky Way's earliest meals. Each one carries within its faint glow a fragment of history, a whisper from a time when the first stars were still learning how to shine. Their light, though dim, holds stories written in the oldest language of the cosmos, the pattern of elements they contain. When astronomers look into that light, they see a time when there were no metals, no oxygen, no carbon, only simplicity. These stars are like fossils, not made of stone, but of fire, keeping the memory of how everything began. In the quiet halo above us, they travel endlessly, orbiting a galaxy that did not yet exist when they were born. And though the Milky Way now spins with hundreds of billions of stars, these few elders remain detached, serene, watching from afar as generations of new stars ignite and die beneath them. Their age humbles everything we know. Before the earth was dust, before the sun was even a thought, they had already been burning small and steady, their light crossing time itself. Perhaps that is why their presence feels so gentle. There is no rush in them, no urgency, only the quiet endurance of something that has already seen it all. When you look up at the night sky, you may think you are seeing the present, but in truth, you are gazing into the past. Some of those faint, steady points above you might be halo stars, their light beginning its journey long before our galaxy found its shape. And as that light reaches your eyes, after traveling for billions of years, it carries with it a silent message, a reminder that we too are part of something ancient, something vast, something still unfolding. So, tonight, as you drift deeper into stillness, imagine those old stars drifting too slowly, endlessly, far above the spiral glow of the Milky Way. They have no need for haste. They have been here since the dawn of time, and they will remain long after we are gone. Their soft, enduring light whispers to us across eternity. The universe was once simple, and we were its first dream. Every moment you spend here on earth, every breath, every sunrise, every quiet night we are moving, not just spinning on our axis, not just circling the sun, but soaring through the galaxy itself. The entire solar system is on a great cosmic journey, traveling through the Milky Way at nearly 828,000 kilometers per hour. It's a speed so vast that the mind can hardly hold it, yet we don't feel a thing. Everything familiar, from the oceans to the mountains, is gliding silently through space, wrapped in the same invisible motion. Around us, the Milky Way spins like a great wheel of light and dust, and our sun, along with all its planets, follows a long curved path around its glowing center. One full orbit, one complete circle around the heart of the galaxy takes about 225 million years. That's what astronomers call a galactic year. To the universe, it's just another heartbeat. To us, it's the span of eons, a measure so large that human history feels like a blink in comparison. Since the Earth first formed, our solar system has made this journey only about 20 times, 20 long galactic years through the birth and death of continents, the rise and fall of life, the quiet march of evolution. When the first fish left the ocean for land, we were in a different region of the galaxy. When the dinosaurs ruled the Earth, the sun was on the far side of its orbit, looking out at a completely different part of the Milky Way. And when they vanished, our solar system was already drifting toward a new horizon, carrying the seeds of what would one day become us. As the sun moves, we move with it. Every planet, every moon, every grain of dust in the solar system is bound to its light, drawn together by the same invisible thread of gravity. The sun leads, and we follow a quiet procession of worlds, sailing through a sea of stars. Sometimes we pass through regions thick with interstellar gas, where faint light shimmers like mist. Sometimes we cross vast, empty stretches where almost nothing exists for hundreds of light years. Yet the journey never stops. It has continued, unbroken, for billions of years. From the center of the galaxy, we are about 26,000 light years away. Orbiting in one of its spiral arms, the Orion Arm, a thin bridge of stars that winds between two great luminous rivers of light. Out here, in this quiet suburb of the Milky Way, life found its chance. Perhaps it is because we are far enough from the galactic heart to escape its chaos and close enough to the light to feel its warmth. Here, in this calm corner, the sun has shone for nearly 5 billion years, steady, unhurried, patient. If you could watch our solar system from afar, it would look like a tiny lantern moving through the dark, trailing 8 planets, a cloud of comets, and an invisible web of dust. It would be small, almost nothing against the grand swirl of the Milky Way. Yet from this small moving home, we have looked out, wondered, and named the stars that drift beside us. Our journey is not a circle in the usual sense. As the galaxy itself moves through the universe, our path becomes a great spiral, a dance of motion within motion, orbiting a center that also drifts. The sun, the earth, and everything we know are part of that endless waltz. It's not chaotic, but graceful, a rhythm older than life, written into the very structure of space and time. Every 225 million years, we return to the same point in our galactic orbit, but the galaxy itself has changed, and so have we. The stars around us are not the same. The shapes of constellations shift. The arms of the Milky Way drift like tides. Nothing in the cosmos ever repeats exactly. We move forward, always not in circles, but in an eternal unfolding of light. So tonight, as you listen, remember, even in your stillness, you are traveling. While you rest, while you breathe, the earth, the sun, and every star you see are gliding together through the quiet sea of the galaxy. You are part of a voyage that began long before you, a journey that will continue long after, and somewhere, deep in the galactic heart we orbit, the universe keeps time one slow, magnificent rotation at a time. The Milky Way is not finished. Even now, in this quiet moment, it is still growing slowly, silently, almost imperceptibly, gathering new material from the darkness around it. Like a vast tide of light, it continues to draw in clouds of gas, wandering stars, and streams of invisible matter that drift through intergalactic space. The galaxy breathes in, though not as a living creature does, but as a great structure of gravity, pulling, collecting, shaping, expanding. Every few million years, faint rivers of hydrogen flow inward from the empty reaches between galaxies, falling gently into the spiral arms. These invisible streams feed the Milky Way, giving birth to new generations of stars. Each spark of light we see above us began as part of that endless exchange. The galaxy inhaling starlight, exhaling worlds, even in the deep silence of the night sky. The Milky Way is alive with motion, creation, and transformation. The galaxy we live in today is not the same as it was when the dinosaurs walked the Earth. Back then, its arms were wound tighter, its heart more turbulent, and its stars arranged in slightly different spirals. Over time, gravity reshaped it. Stars were born, others died. Entire clusters drifted apart. What we see now is just one frame in an endless sequence, one moment in a story that spans billions of years. And even as we look up tonight, that story continues to unfold. Far beyond the visible stars, dark matter surrounds the galaxy in a vast, unseen halo. It has no glow, no reflection, no form that we can see, yet it makes up most of the Milky Way's mass. It is the skeleton of the galaxy, the invisible framework that holds everything together. Without it, the Milky Way's arms would unravel and its stars would drift away into the void. Thanks to that unseen presence, the galaxy remains whole, a silent balance between gravity and motion. Everywhere within it, stars are being born from clouds of dust and gas. Some form quietly, deep within dense nebulae, where starlight cannot yet reach. Others ignite in brilliant bursts, scattering their surroundings with energy and color. Then, when their fuel runs out, they return what they've borrowed, casting their elements back into space to seed the next generation. In this way, the Milky Way renews itself endlessly, each cycle adding new layers of light to its structure. If we could watch the galaxy in fast motion over millions of years compressed into seconds, we would see it breathing. Stars would flicker to life and fade. The spiral arms would twist and shimmer, and faint clouds from the edges would drift inward, disappearing into the swirl. It would look almost alive, but its heartbeat would not be made of blood. It would be made of gravity, time, and light. Even now, new material continues to fall from above and below the galactic plane, feeding the disk. The Milky Way stretches and reshapes itself, in response expanding its arms, thickening its core, adjusting its delicate equilibrium. It grows not through violence, but through quiet persistence, gathering what the universe offers and turning it into something luminous. From Earth, we see only a band of faint light arching across the night sky. But beyond what our eyes can see, the Milky Way is vast, dynamic, and ever-changing a city of stars still under construction. The same galaxy that once shone above the age of reptiles is not the same one that glows above us now. It has aged, evolved, and learned to carry within it the memories of everything it has absorbed. And so, as you gaze upward, know that the light you see is part of something still becoming. The Milky Way is not a relic of the past. It is an ongoing creation, a slow masterpiece of gravity and time. It grows in silence, reshaped by every particle it gathers, every star it births, every life that looks up to find its reflection in the sky. If you look up at the night sky and trace that soft, silvery band of light arching from horizon to horizon, you're looking into the great spiral arms of our own galaxy, yet no one, not even the most powerful telescope, can say exactly how many there are. From within, we are like a traveler, standing inside a vast forest, unable to see its shape, only the glow of trunks and leaves around us. Clouds of dust and rivers of gas blur our view, bending and hiding the light that could reveal our home's design. The Milky Way keeps its pattern close, a secret known only to the stars themselves. For centuries, astronomers have tried to map this spiral, to count its arms as one might count the petals of a flower. Some see 2 great arms, others 4, and still others a dozen smaller branches that twist and fork like threads of silk. What we do know is that these arms are not solid or fixed. They are waves of density, gentle gatherings of the stars and gas that move through the galaxy, like ripples through water. Stars are born within them, shine for a time, then drift away, leaving room for new ones to form behind. The arms are not permanent structures, but living patterns always shifting, always becoming. Imagine the galaxy's disk as a vast sea of starlight, and the spiral arms as tides within it. They swirl, stretch, and sometimes split apart, blending into new shapes over millions of years. Some fade away quietly, others merge together, forming bright ribbons that sweep through space like strokes of a slow, celestial brush. The Milky Way does not resemble the perfect pinwheel we see in photographs of other galaxies. Its arms are uneven, layered, sometimes broken, but in that imperfection lies its beauty. Between those arms lie great lanes of darkness, clouds of dust so thick that they swallow starlight whole. Yet within those same clouds, stars are being born. The darkness is not emptiness, it is the womb of light. As we peer through our telescopes, infrared eyes pierce that veil and reveal clusters of newborn stars hidden behind curtains of shadow. Each one will soon drift outward, joining the flow of the spiral, becoming part of the galaxy's slow, luminous dance. Even the arm we call home the Orion Arm, a smaller spur between two great streams of stars, is not truly stable. It bends and curves like a ribbon in the wind, slowly reshaping itself as the galaxy turns. The sun rides within it, carrying us and our world through a region of calm between larger storms of creation. It is this quiet position that has allowed life to emerge close enough to the galactic light, yet far enough from its chaos. Over time, the pattern of the Milky Way will continue to change. Stars will shift their places, dust will rise and settle, and the arms will rewrite themselves again and again. What we see today is only one frame of an infinite film, a frozen moment in an endless motion. When we look at photographs of other spiral galaxies, we are seeing mirrors of our own, reflections of what the Milky Way once was, or what it may someday become. If we could step back, far beyond our galaxy, and see it whole, the luminous disk, turning slowly in the dark, we might notice that its arms do not move with the stars they contain. They are more like traffic waves on a busy road. The stars flow through them, slowing where the wave gathers, then moving on again. Each wave endures long enough to give birth to worlds, and when it fades, another rises to take its place. And so, the Milky Way is never still. Its arms twist, breathe, and shimmer not in perfect order, but in quiet harmony. Within its graceful disorder lies a rhythm as old as time, a music that needs no sound. The dust, the gas, the light all move together in a choreography of creation. As you listen now, perhaps you can feel that motion, not with your eyes, but with something deeper. Every star you see above you, every beam of light crossing the dark, is part of that slow spiral. You are too. The Earth, the Sun, and everything we know are drifting through one of those arms right now, gliding through the vast, luminous current of our galactic sea. And in that motion, soft, patient, eternal, the Milky Way continues to write its story across the quiet canvas of the universe. Deep in the heart of the Milky Way, where gravity is strongest and light itself can barely escape, there lies a silent power, a supermassive black hole, vast enough to hold millions of suns. Around it, stars drift like moths around a flame, their paths curved and delicate, bound by invisible threads of gravity. Most will circle safely for billions of years, but sometimes one wanders too close. When that happens, the quiet turns into motion. Two stars might approach together, companions, orbiting one another in a dance older than our sun. As they near the black hole, its immense pull takes hold. One star is captured, drawn inward toward the dark heart of the galaxy. The other is thrown outward, flung into the void with such force that it breaks free of the Milky Way itself. It becomes a rogue star, a wanderer with no home, destined to drift through intergalactic space forever. These runaway stars are rare, but they exist moving faster than any world we could imagine. Some travel at over 1,000,000 kilometers per hour, faster than the galaxy's escape velocity. At that speed, they will never return. They will spend eternity gliding through the emptiness between galaxies, their light dimming slowly as they move farther and farther from everything they once knew. If you could see one, it would look like a single, lonely spark moving across the darkness, a traveler untethered from all it once belonged to. There are no planets around it, no neighbors, no orbit to follow, only the vast, endless night ahead. Its light may continue for millions of years, soft, golden thread stretching through space, whispering the story of its departure. Astronomers have found a few of these fugitives. They trace their paths backward, all pointing toward the galactic center, toward that dark, silent place where a black hole's gravity reigns. Each of those paths tells the same story: a meeting, a capture, and a release. A partnership torn apart in a heartbeat of cosmic time. It's a strange, almost poetic balance. One star falls into darkness, disappearing forever. The other is granted freedom, but at the cost of loneliness. Together, they show us the quiet duality of the universe, how creation and loss, captivity and release are bound to the same motion. Where gravity gives, it also takes away. Out there, between the galaxies, those rogue stars keep moving. Their light fades, but never fully dies. It simply grows softer, more patient. Each one carries within it the memory of where it came from, the spin of the Milky Way, the pull of its companions, the faint tug of a home it will never see again. And yet, they keep going, not by choice, but by the silent logic of the cosmos. If you could ride alongside one of them, you would see nothing around you. No constellations, no spiral arms, no glow of galactic dust, only a thin ribbon of light trailing behind, the afterglow of motion through eternity. You might feel an odd sense of peace there, in that endless solitude, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. Even here, in our quiet corner of the galaxy, the story of those wanderers continues to remind us of something profound, that even in vastness, motion never truly stops, that every connection, every orbit, every bond exists under the same balance of pull and release. The rogue stars are not lost. They are simply on another path, one that leads beyond the edge of everything we know. And so, somewhere out there, a single star keeps traveling its light, still crossing the cold, dark sea, still telling the story of the moment it was freed. One star fell into the shadows, the other was set loose to wander the infinite. Both remain part of the same cosmic rhythm, a heartbeat that echoes quietly across space, reminding us that even separation can be a kind of beauty. Far across the cosmic sea, another great island of stars is moving toward us, the Andromeda Galaxy. It is the closest spiral to our own, shining faintly in the northern sky, though its light takes more than 2 million years to reach us. Right now, it looks peaceful, steady, a small blur of light in a telescope's view. But deep beneath that calm lies motion and approach so vast and slow that we can barely sense it. Yet, every second, Andromeda draws nearer, pulled by the same invisible thread of gravity that binds all things together. In about 4.5 billion years, the two galaxies will meet, not in a fiery explosion, but in an endless, graceful embrace, a cosmic dance that will last for billions of years. The stars within them will not collide. The distances between them are too great. Instead, they will weave through each other like flowing streams of light, bending, stretching, and merging into new patterns. The Milky Way's spiral arms will distort, Andromeda's disk will twist, and the two will swirl together in slow, luminous waves. From afar, it will look like two galaxies performing a waltz, their centers orbiting one another, drawing closer with each pass until they finally blend into one. Astronomers call it Milky Way, the future galaxy that will be born from their union, a name that sounds almost like a dream, soft, inevitable, serene. During the first encounter, our night sky will change forever. Imagine, if you could still look up then, Andromeda filling the heavens, a vast, glowing tapestry of stars stretching from horizon to horizon. Over time, its shape will grow, spreading until it dominates everything we see. Then, as the galaxies begin to merge, the orderly spirals will dissolve into a cloud of light. The familiar Milky Way band will vanish, replaced by a sky filled with shimmering arcs and threads rivers of starlight, tracing the slow choreography of creation. And yet, even as galaxies collide, the space between individual stars remains mostly empty. Two suns could pass within 1,000,000 kilometers of each other, close by cosmic standards, and never touch. Planets, solar systems, and nebulae will all be carried along, rearranged but rarely destroyed. It is not chaos that will follow, but transformation. In that distant era, our sun will likely be nearing the end of its life, its light dimmer, its heat softer. The Earth may already be gone, folded back into stardust, but the stars themselves, billions of them, will continue their quiet journey, settling into new orbits within the newly formed galaxy. Some will drift toward its bright, unified core. Others will be cast outward into its growing halo, like glitter scattered by the motion of time. Andromeda's black hole and our own will also meet, circling one another in a spiral of unimaginable force. Their dance will last millions of years before they merge, releasing waves that ripple across space-time itself, a silent echo felt throughout the universe. When it ends, there will be one heart, one center, one immense galaxy born from two. Even now, this destiny is unfolding. The pull between Andromeda and the Milky Way is ancient, patient, unstoppable. Across millions of light years, gravity is already drawing them together, shaping the story of their future. Each star, each cloud of gas, even the smallest particle of dust, all are moving in rhythm toward that moment. When the union is complete, the new galaxy will shine larger and brighter than either of its parents. Its arms will be thicker, its core more luminous, its beauty unlike anything we can now imagine. And long after, when the universe grows darker and colder, this new Milky Way will still glow, a reminder that even endings can become beginnings. So, as you drift toward sleep, imagine that far horizon of time, a night sky transformed, two galaxies entwined in a dance older than memory. No crash, no sound, only the quiet unfolding of light upon light, gravity upon gravity, until two become one. It is a story written not in words, but in motion, a story that began long ago and will continue long after us, spinning softly in the dark. Most of the stars in the Milky Way move together, drifting around the galactic center in the same graceful direction, following the quiet rhythm that gravity has written into their paths. But hidden among them are a few that go the other way. These are the retrograde stars, wanderers that swim upstream through the cosmic current, spinning against the flow of hundreds of billions of others. Their motion is gentle but defiant, like a whisper in reverse. And in that whisper, the galaxy keeps its oldest secrets. To the casual eye, there's no way to tell them apart. They shine just as softly, their light no different from the stars that surround them. But when astronomers measure their motion, when they watch how these stars drift across the sky, they find something remarkable. A handful of them are moving backward, tracing orbits that run opposite to the Milky Way's grand rotation. Each one is a clue, a living memory of a time when the galaxy was still young and wild. Long ago, the Milky Way was not the calm spiral we know. It was a gathering storm, colliding, consuming, and absorbing smaller galaxies that strayed too close. When those ancient galaxies fell into its gravity, their stars were scattered and mixed in. But not all conformed to the new rhythm. Some kept their original motion, continuing to orbit the opposite way. Billions of years later, those survivors are still here, drifting quietly, carrying the momentum of forgotten worlds. They are, in a way, the fossils of the sky, not carved in stone, but written in movement. Each retrograde star is a piece of evidence proof that our galaxy is built from the remnants of many others. If you could trace their paths, they would draw faint, looping lines through the halo and disk of the Milky Way, overlapping with the steady flow of stars that follow the dominant spin. To watch them move is to see time layered upon itself, the old and the new sharing the same space, each keeping its rhythm. In some parts of the galaxy, especially in the distant halo, these backward-moving stars gather in subtle streams, long, faint ribbons of light that stretch for thousands of light years. They are all that remains of ancient collisions, like smoke trails left behind by vanished fires. As the Milky Way continues to turn, these streams are slowly stretched thinner until they fade into the background glow. But they never disappear completely. Their motion preserves their memory. And if you could listen closely enough, not with ears, but with imagination, you might almost hear it, a quiet counterpoint to the galaxy's grand song. For every 100,000 stars that move one way, a few drift the other, their rhythm slower, older, echoing from an age when the Milky Way was still becoming itself. They are not mistakes in the pattern. They are reminders that nothing in the universe is ever perfectly ordered. Creation, like memory, always carries traces of what came before. Sometimes, one of these retrograde stars will pass through the galactic disk, weaving between the younger, faster-moving ones. For a moment, they share the same region of space, two histories, crossing in silence. Then the older star moves on, its orbit carrying it back into the vast, dim halo above and below the galaxy's plane. It is a traveler among descendants, unseen but still part of the same family. To look at the night sky is to look into motion we cannot feel. Every star is moving, and every direction tells a story. Some tell of birth of clouds collapsing and light igniting. Others tell of exile of galaxies merging, of gravity reshaping what once was. And the retrograde stars tell of memory, the long persistence of motion that refuses to forget. They remind us that the Milky Way, for all its grace, is not a single creation, but a tapestry woven from the threads of many galaxies, stitched together by time. Some threads run forward, some backward, but together they make the pattern whole. And in that quiet harmony of opposing motions, the galaxy continues to turn a living memory of everything it has ever been, and everything it has yet to become. The Milky Way, for all its beauty, is not gentle. Beneath the calm swirl of stars and silver light lies a story of quiet conquest, of smaller galaxies drawn in, broken apart, and absorbed until their very essence became part of our own. Over billions of years, the Milky Way has fed on its neighbors, taking their stars, their dust, their histories, and weaving them into the great spiral we now call home. Every glowing point you see above you carries within it the memory of some earlier world that no longer exists. If you could look closely enough at our stars, not just their light, but their chemistry, their orbits, their age, you would see patterns. Some stars move differently, their paths tilted or stretched in ways that don't quite belong. Some shine with slightly different colors, their elements older or rarer than those forged in the Milky Way itself. These are the immigrants, the survivors of ancient galaxies that were swallowed long ago. The Milky Way didn't simply destroy them, it folded them into its own structure, like rivers merging into a single, vast sea. One of the greatest of these mergers left behind a ghost that scientists call Gaia Enceladus. Long ago, perhaps 10 billion years in the past, a small galaxy crossed the Milky Way's path. Gravity took hold, and their stars began to intertwine. Slowly, gently, the smaller galaxy was torn apart, its stars scattered through the halo, its gas and dust folded into the disk. What remained became part of us. Today, more than half the stars in the thick disk of the Milky Way are thought to be descendants of that ancient union. Though the collision is long over, its echo still lingers in the motions of the stars. When astronomers map the sky using precise measurements from the Gaia spacecraft, they can still see the patterned streams of the stars moving in one direction while others drift the opposite way. It is as if the Milky Way still remembers the moment of impact, its very shape a living record of what it once consumed. But Gaia Enceladus was not the only one. The Milky Way has devoured dozens of smaller galaxies, quiet meals that lasted hundreds of millions of years. Some came from above, plunging through the galactic disk like stones through water. Others approached slowly, spiraling inward until they dissolved into our arms. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, which still orbits us now, is being torn apart at this very moment. Its stars are stretched into long, shimmering streams that wrap around the Milky Way, like ribbons, the remains of a cosmic embrace that has lasted longer than humanity has existed. And yet, there is no malice in this process. It is not destruction, but transformation. Every time the Milky Way consumes another galaxy, it grows richer, its disk thickens, its halo expands, and new generations of stars are born from the mingled dust of both. Even the elements in our own bodies, the carbon, the iron, the oxygen, are the distant echoes of such collisions, recycled and reborn through countless generations of stars. We are, quite literally, made from the debris of galaxies that came before. In this way, the Milky Way is both predator and creator. It takes, but it also gives, reshaping what it consumes into something luminous and enduring. Each merger leaves behind subtle traces, faint streams of stars crossing the night sky, clusters that orbit in strange loops, and chemical signatures hidden in starlight. To the trained eye, these are not random. They are fingerprints, the remnants of cosmic history etched across the galaxy's face. When we look up at the Milky Way on a clear night, we are seeing not one galaxy, but many their remnants bound together by time. Every star, every shimmer, every faint thread of light is part of a story written by gravity and memory. The galaxy we call ours is not a single entity. It is a collection of ghosts, each one contributing to the light that guides us through the dark. And even now, the process continues. Far at the edges of the halo, new galaxies are drifting closer, drawn toward our center. In another few billion years, they too will join the Milky Way, their stars spreading out, their histories dissolving into ours. The story has no end, only motion, only transformation. So tonight, as you rest beneath the stars, know that you are part of something ancient and ongoing. The atoms within you have traveled from one galaxy to another, carried through fire and silence until they found their way into your heartbeat. You are not separate from the Milky Way's hunger or its creation. You are its continuation. The same force that draws galaxies together now moves quietly through you, reminding you that in the universe, nothing is ever truly lost. It only becomes part of something larger, brighter, and endlessly reborn. Every star shines with its own signature, not just in brightness or color, but in chemistry. If you could take the light of a star and stretch it out into a spectrum, you would find lines delicate, precise, and unique. These are the fingerprints of elements, the marks left by hydrogen, helium, iron, calcium, and countless others. Together, they tell the story of where a star came from, what it was born with, and what the universe was made of when it first began to glow. In that way, a star is more than just a point of light. It is a record of cosmic memory. Its chemical makeup carries within it the story of generations before it, the ashes of older stars, the remains of supernovae, the quiet breath of dying giants. Every atom inside a star once belonged to something older, something that burned and faded long ago. When we study those atoms, we are reading history not written in words, but in the language of light. The oldest stars are simple. They are made mostly of hydrogen and helium, the raw ingredients forged in the first moments after the Big Bang. They lack the heavy elements that fill our world today: iron, carbon, oxygen, gold. Astronomers call them metal-poor stars, though the word metal here means everything heavier than helium. These ancient suns are quiet, pale, and austere fossils from a time when the universe was still young, when there were no planets yet, no dust, no life to wonder about them. Younger stars, by contrast, are rich in elements. Their light carries traces of iron, calcium, silicon, and carbon, born from the explosions of stars that came before. Every generation of stars enriches the galaxy a little more, scattering new elements into space when they die. Those elements drift through the interstellar medium clouds of gas and dust until gravity gathers them again to form new suns, new planets, and eventually living beings who can look up and ask where they came from. In this endless cycle, the Milky Way becomes a kind of cosmic alchemist, turning death into creation, transforming simple hydrogen into everything that exists. The stars are its laboratories, and their light is the evidence of its work. When we look at that light, we are peering into a process that began over 13 billion years ago and still continues today, quietly, patiently, without end. Astronomers have learned to read these stellar fingerprints with exquisite precision, By measuring how a star's light bends, splits, and fades, they can tell exactly what elements are present within it. The lines of iron, the whispers of calcium, the faint traces of lithium, each one reveals something about the star's ancestry. Some stars formed in the Milky Way itself. Others came from galaxies that were later absorbed. Their chemistry gives them away, like accents in the language of the cosmos. Everywhere in the galaxy, these differences tell stories. A star rich in heavy elements might have formed near the dense spiral arms, where new stars are born from clouds thick with dust. A poorer, older star may have come from the halo, a survivor from an age when the universe had not yet learned to make complexity. When we map them all together, the Milky Way becomes a vast, glittering archive. Each star, a sentence, each constellation, a chapter in the long biography of creation. Sometimes, when astronomers describe their work, they speak of light as poetry, and it's true. The light of stars is a kind of verse, written not with ink, but with elements. Each spectral line is a word, each wavelength, a rhythm. Hydrogen and helium form the opening stanzas, simple and repeating. Iron adds structure, calcium adds warmth, carbon adds life, and when all of these mix, they compose the story of everything we are. Because we are made of these same elements, the iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the oxygen we breathe, all of it was forged in the hearts of stars. When you look at the night sky, you are not just seeing light from far away, you are seeing the origin of yourself. Those distant suns are our ancestors, their chemistry woven into our bodies, their lifetimes echoed in every breath we take. So as you listen now, let that thought rest gently within you. Every star is a page of the universe's memory. Their light carries the record of birth and death, of transformation and time. Some burn with the simplicity of the beginning, others with the richness of everything that followed, and together they form a single, endless poem, the story of how the universe learned to write in the language of elements, and how, through that language, it gave rise to us. Surrounding our galaxy are faint, delicate rivers of light, stellar streams, the lingering traces of galaxies long since absorbed. They are thin, ghostly arcs of stars wrapping around the Milky Way like threads of memory, nearly invisible to the naked eye. Yet each one tells a story. These streams are not random. They are the remnants of ancient collisions, the last footprints of smaller galaxies that came too close and were pulled apart by our own. If you could see the Milky Way, not from within, but from far away, you would notice these streams curling around it, long, graceful lines that shimmer faintly against the dark. They trace the orbits of what once were entire galaxies, their stars stretched across the heavens like silk ribbons, unraveling in slow motion. Each stream moves in harmony with the galaxy's gravity, bending and twisting as it circles the center, gradually fading into the larger glow of the galactic halo. These are the fossils of motion, and their existence is proof that the Milky Way has never been still. Every stream marks a moment when our galaxy merged with another, a quiet union that reshaped both. Over time, gravity stripped stars from the smaller companion, scattering them along its orbital path until only a faint trail remained. Billions of years later, those trails still linger, whispering the history of encounters long forgotten. Some of these stellar streams, like the Sagittarius stream, can still be traced clearly across the sky. It arcs around the Milky Way in a vast, looping curve made of stars torn from the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, a neighbor that has been slowly dissolving for billions of years. Others are so faint that they can only be detected by careful measurements of motion, using telescopes and instruments that track how stars drift over time. These streams are fragile, stretched thin by gravity, yet they endure glowing quietly in the outskirts of our galaxy. Each stream is a record of transformation. The stars within them move in synchronized paths, tracing invisible patterns left by the tides of cosmic interaction. When scientists map them, they can reconstruct the history of the Milky Way's growth, like reading the rings of a tree or the lines of age on a face. Every stream has its own story, where it came from, how it was pulled apart, how its stars were folded into the greater whole. But even beyond their scientific meaning, there is something deeply human about them. These stellar rivers remind us that nothing in the universe truly disappears. Galaxies collide, stars scatter, shapes dissolve, yet their traces remain, lingering in graceful arcs of light that curve around the night. They are the memories of creation, written not in words, but in orbits, carried across billions of years. If you could drift along one of these streams, you would find yourself among ancient stars travelers that once belonged to another home. Around you, the Milky Way would stretch in every direction, immense and glowing. The stars would move together, silently, all heading the same way toward the heart of the galaxy, where gravity keeps its patient watch. There would be no noise, no borders, only motion and time. And perhaps that is the quiet truth these streams reveal, that the universe is one vast act of gathering. Every collision, every loss, every scattering of stars is also a step toward unity, toward the making of something larger and more luminous. The Milky Way is not a single, unbroken creation, but a mosaic shaped by countless mergers and stitched together by these glowing seams. So when you look up at the night sky and see the Milky Way stretching across the darkness, know that hidden within its light are these faint rivers, the graceful remnants of worlds long gone. They are the galaxy's memories, flowing endlessly around us, reminding us that even when something ends, its light can go on drifting through time, wrapping itself gently around the heart of creation. From a distance, you might imagine the Milky Way as a perfect spiral, flat, shining disk of stars turning gracefully through space. But if we could step outside it and look back, we would see something different. The disk is not flat at all. It bends, gently and unevenly, like a vast sheet of light caught in an invisible breeze. One side of the galaxy tilts upward, the other curves down a subtle wave that ripples across hundreds of thousands of light years. This warp is delicate, almost imperceptible from where we stand inside it. Yet, it is real, a quiet distortion written into the shape of our home. The stars that make up the outer edges of the Milky Way don't lie in a single, smooth plane. They rise and fall, tracing graceful arcs as they orbit the galactic center. From above, it would look like a luminous ribbon, slightly twisted, its ends lifting like wings. Why does our galaxy bend this way? The answer, like much in the universe, is both mysterious and beautiful. Some astronomers believe that small satellite galaxies, the Milky Way's companions, tug gently on its edges, as they orbit around it. Their gravity, though faint compared to the galaxy's vast mass, is enough to tilt and twist the outer stars over billions of years. Others think the cause may lie deeper in the unseen framework of dark matter that surrounds everything. If that dark halo is not perfectly balanced, its uneven pull could bend the disk like a ripple frozen in time. Whatever the reason, the warp tells us something profound. Our galaxy is not rigid. It is alive with motion, responding to every touch, every influence, even across distances that seem infinite. The Milky Way listens to its neighbors adjusting, flexing, reshaping itself as it travels through the universe. The curve of its disk is like a cosmic sigh, a reminder that even the grandest structures feel the subtle gravity of their surroundings. From our position within the galaxy, we can only glimpse pieces of this shape. When we look toward the center, the band of the Milky Way rises slightly in the sky. When we turn to the opposite direction, it dips. For centuries, astronomers thought this was a trick of perspective until precise measurements revealed that it is real. The stars, gas, and dust truly arch in different directions, creating a galactic wave that moves slowly, completing one oscillation over hundreds of millions of years. If you could watch the Milky Way in fast motion, billions of years passing in a few moments, you would see the disk flutter like the surface of water. The spiral arms would twist and shimmer, the outer edges lifting and falling in slow rhythm. It would look almost alive, a great organism breathing in time with the cosmos. The warp might shift, settle, then rise again, stirred by the passing of a smaller galaxy or a drifting clump of dark matter. Nothing stays still. Everything responds to something else. And yet, this bending does not break the Milky Way's harmony. It adds to its beauty a quiet asymmetry that makes it real. The same forces that bend the disk also stir the stars, mix the gases, and create the turbulence that leads to new births. In every curve and ripple lies the memory of motion, the soft reminder that even stability is only a pause between waves. When you gaze at the Milky Way on a clear night, that faint arch of light you see is more than just a band of stars. You are seeing a galaxy that bends and breathes, a vast spiral caught mid-motion in a universe that never stops moving. Its shape is not perfect, but that imperfection is what makes it alive. The warp is the galaxy's gesture, a subtle bow to gravity, to time, to everything it has encountered. And perhaps, in a way, we share that same curve. We, too, are shaped by invisible forces, by the pulls of what surrounds us, by the quiet interactions that bend our paths. The Milky Way's gentle warp is a reflection of the universe's most tender truth, that everything, no matter how vast or ancient, carries the mark of its connections, and in those graceful bends, the story of its becoming. When you look up at the night sky, it feels endless, a tapestry of stars scattered across eternity. Yet what your eyes can see is only the faintest layer, a thin veil stretched over an ocean of light. Out of the hundreds of billions of stars that fill the Milky Way, the human eye can glimpse only about 0.003% of them. Everything else lies beyond our sight, hidden by distance, dust, or simply by the limits of our own perception. The stars you see, the bright ones that form familiar constellations, the quiet ones twinkling near the edge of vision, all belong to the thin disk of our galaxy. They are the neighbors, the close companions, the handful that shine near enough for their light to reach us unfiltered. Beyond them stretches a sea of unseen brilliance, countless suns, worlds, and clouds of starlight extending for tens of thousands of light years in every direction. What appears as a glowing band arching across the night is not the whole of the Milky Way, but merely a glimpse of its surface, a single ripple in a boundless ocean. When you gaze at that milky stripe, you are looking edge-on through the dense plane of our galaxy. The faint haze is the combined glow of stars, so far away that their light blends into one continuous mist. Each pinprick you can see is a solitary star. Each soft blur is millions more, their individual lights merging into one. The mind can hardly grasp it, that what seems like a narrow streak in the sky is, in truth, a great spiral of hundreds of billions of suns. And still, what we perceive is only the beginning. The dust that lies between the stars blocks much of the light, dimming entire regions of the galaxy. Beyond that dust, invisible to our eyes, are stars whose light can be detected only with telescopes, infrared eyes that pierce the darkness. They reveal what our vision cannot: newborn stars cocooned in nebulae, ancient clusters drifting through the halo, even the faint shimmer of galaxies beyond our own. Our eyes are tuned for comfort, not for infinity. The universe is too vast, too deep for them to take in. There is a quiet humility in that realization. We live beneath a sky that seems so full, yet it hides almost everything. The stars we see are just the nearby candles at the edge of a great cathedral of light. They are the hints, the outlines, the visible notes of a much grander song that continues beyond what we can hear. And perhaps that is what makes the night sky so powerful. It invites not only sight, but imagination. Every star we can see has traveled for years, decades, or centuries to reach our eyes. The light of Sirius left its home 8 years ago. The light of Deneb began its journey long before the first cities on Earth were built. And still, these are close neighbors, flickers from our own corner of the Milky Way. The true galaxy stretches far beyond them, a spiral so immense that light itself takes 100,000 years to cross it. When you stand beneath the stars, what you are really seeing is time the past, arriving in tiny packets of light, whispering stories from across the ages. The night sky is not a static picture, but a living memory, changing slowly as new stars are born and old ones fade. We see so little of it, and yet it is enough to fill us with wonder. So, tonight, when you look up, remember that shining band across the heavens, that delicate sweep of silver, is only the thinnest surface of something immeasurable. Beneath it lies a galaxy teeming with light, with movement, with countless suns we will never see. And yet, even the small fraction we can witness is enough to remind us that we are part of something vast and enduring. The Milky Way does not ask to be seen in full. It offers us just a glimmer, and in that glimmer, we glimpse infinity. If you listen closely to the galaxy, you might sense a slow, steady rhythm beneath its light, a pattern that moves, not with the stars themselves, but through them. The Milky Way's spiral arms are not solid structures, nor are they fixed in place. They are waves of density, flowing patterns that pass through the galaxy, like ripples on a great ocean of starlight. Stars are born, drift through these arms, and move on, while the wave itself continues a moving design, forever shifting, forever renewed. Imagine standing in a field of tall grass as a breeze rolls through. The blades bend and sway, but the wind itself is the thing that travels. The spiral arms of the Milky Way work in much the same way. The stars and gas within them move, yet the pattern, the spiral, stays. It is not made of the same stars at every moment, but of motion itself, repeating endlessly as the galaxy turns. Each arm marks a region where the density of stars and gas is slightly higher than the space between. As clouds of hydrogen drift into these dense regions, they are compressed, triggering the birth of new stars. These young stars, bright, blue, and short-lived, illuminate the arms, giving them their shimmering outlines. But before long, the stars move ahead, leaving the arm behind, while new ones form to take their place. The arm is never still. It is a rhythm, a pattern of becoming. In this way, the Milky Way is both structure and song. Its spiral form is like a melody played in slow motion, each note lasting millions of years, each chord made of starlight. And though we see it as a grand, steady design, what we are truly witnessing is motion, a dynamic interplay between gravity, gas, and time. The arms do not hold the stars. They guide them, gently shaping the galaxy's dance. If you could watch our galaxy from above over the course of eons, you would see the arms appear, drift, dissolve, and reform, always changing, yet always spiraling. The stars would move in and out like dancers crossing paths on a vast cosmic stage. Some would be drawn inward toward the center, others would drift outward toward the edge. But the pattern itself would remain a silent spiral, carved into the flow of the Milky Way's motion. This constant movement gives the galaxy life. It stirs its gas and dust, mixing the old and the new, spreading the ingredients for creation across its disk. Without the waves that form the spiral arms, the galaxy would grow still, its gas settling, its star formation fading. The arms are the breath of the Milky Way, the pulse that keeps its light alive. From our vantage point within one of these arms, the Orion arm, a smaller branch between two larger ones, we are part of this motion. Every atom in our bodies, every grain of dust that makes the Earth, was once carried by these galactic waves. We were formed inside this spiral rhythm, shaped by its turning, born from its flow. And though the Milky Way's spiral seems eternal, it too will one day fade over billions of years. The density waves will weaken, the arms will blur, and the galaxy will settle into a calmer form. But for now, they continue their graceful motion, a cosmic tide, rising and falling through time. So when you look up at the night sky and see that faint band of light stretching across the dark, remember, you are looking into a living wave, a great spiral of motion and creation. Every star you see is moving, every arm is flowing, every shimmer of light is part of the same vast rhythm. The Milky Way is not a frozen picture in space. It is a song still being played, and we are listening from within its melody. If you could see the Milky Way in its entirety, not just the stars and dust that shine, but everything that holds it together, you would find that most of it is invisible. Beneath the soft glow of billions of suns lies a vast, unseen structure, a halo of dark matter stretching far beyond the visible edge of the galaxy. It cannot be touched, it does not glow, And yet without it, the Milky Way could not exist. It is the silent framework, the skeleton of gravity that keeps the stars from flying apart. When astronomers first measured how fast stars move around the galactic center, they expected the outer ones to slow down, just as planets farther from the sun orbit more slowly. But they didn't. The stars on the edges of the Milky Way were moving far too quickly, fast enough that, by all visible matter alone, the galaxy should have torn itself to pieces. Something unseen was holding it together, something massive and steady, something that bends space yet gives off no light. That something is dark matter. Though we cannot see it, we can feel its pull. It wraps around the galaxy like a gentle hand, balancing the outward spin of billions of stars with its quiet gravity. Every orbit, from the sun's path around the galactic center to the swirl of distant nebulae, depends on it. Dark matter is not decoration. It is structure. It is the invisible harmony that allows the galaxy to move without collapsing or scattering into the void. The halo of dark matter is immense, stretching hundreds of thousands of light years beyond the visible disk. Within it, the Milky Way floats like a glowing leaf in a vast, unseen sea. The stars, the gas, the planets, and even the black hole at the center make up less than a tenth of the galaxy's true mass. The rest, the quiet majority, is dark matter, shaping everything we see while remaining forever hidden. No one knows what it is made of. It does not emit or absorb light. It does not collide or scatter like ordinary matter. It passes through us, through the earth, through the sun, without resistance. Some believe it is made of exotic particles that barely interact with the universe at all. Others think it may be something even stranger, shadow version of matter, obeying laws we have yet to understand. Whatever it is, it has been here from the beginning, forming the scaffolding upon which the first galaxies were built. Without dark matter, the universe would be unrecognizable. After the Big Bang, when the first atoms of hydrogen and helium began to form, it was dark matter that gathered them together. It created the wells of gravity where stars could ignite, where galaxies could spiral into being. Even now, it shapes the grand architecture of the cosmos, the filaments and clusters that link galaxies together like pearls on invisible strings. The Milky Way is one of countless jewels suspended in that web, held in place by threads of darkness. And yet, there is a strange poetry in its invisibility. The most fundamental structure of our universe is something we cannot see, something we only know by the way it holds everything else. The stars owe their beauty to what is unseen. The galaxy's balance, its symmetry, its slow, endless motion, all of it depends on an invisible hand that asks for no recognition. When we look at the Milky Way stretching across the night sky, what we see is only the surface, the luminous skin of something far greater. Beneath that glow lies the true shape of the galaxy, woven together by forces that light can never reveal. It is humbling to realize that what is brightest is not what holds us, and that what is unseen is what endures. Dark matter reminds us that the universe is built on mystery, that the things we cannot perceive are often the ones that give us stability. We are suspended in that unseen gravity, moving through it every second of our lives, held in place by something both silent and eternal. So tonight, As you breathe beneath the stars, remember, the Milky Way is not just a river of light, but a harmony of darkness and glow. It turns and holds together because of what we cannot see. The universe is not empty. It is full of quiet strength, invisible and complete, a balance of brightness and shadow. And in that balance, we find the deepest kind of beauty, the beauty of what keeps everything from falling apart. At the very heart of the Milky Way, hidden behind thick clouds of dust and light, lies a silence so deep that not even light itself can escape it. There, in the center of our galaxy, rests a black hole known as Sagittarius A, a cosmic anchor, invisible yet immeasurably powerful. It is small enough to fit within the orbit of Mercury, and yet it weighs more than 4 million suns. Around it, stars move in frantic circles, their orbits revealing the presence of a force that can only be described as gravity made absolute. From our distance, 26,000 light years away, we cannot see the black hole directly, but we can see its influence the way nearby stars whirl at astonishing speeds, like sparks caught in a hidden whirlpool. One of them, a bright little star called S2, completes its orbit in just 16 years, moving faster than any object we can imagine, its path bending around an unseen point in space. That invisible point, that heart of darkness, is Sagittarius A. Though it devours light, the region around it glows. As gas and dust spiral inward, pulled by its gravity, they heat up and flare brilliantly, shining in X-rays and radio waves before vanishing beyond the event horizon, the point of no return. The black hole itself is silent, but the space around it is alive with energy. Every so often, it flickers, releasing a sudden flash, as if the galaxy itself were blinking. It's strange to think that something so small, so dark, can hold an entire galaxy together. Yet without it, the Milky Way would lose its balance. Sagittarius A sits at the very center of everything, a still point around which hundreds of billions of stars revolve. It does not pull with violence, but with quiet certainty, its gravity shaping the rhythm of the galaxy like the heartbeat of an unseen giant. If we could travel closer, past the glowing dust, past the radiant gas clouds, we would see a scene of unimaginable beauty and tension. Streams of matter would spiral inward in delicate arcs, glowing hotter and brighter as they approach the edge. Time itself would begin to bend. Moments would stretch and slow, as if the universe were holding its breath. At the very edge, light would swirl and freeze, caught between falling and escaping a dance that never ends. For decades, astronomers wondered if the Milky Way truly had a black hole at its core. It wasn't until 2022 that humanity finally saw its shadow captured by the Event Horizon Telescope, a network of observatories spread across the Earth. The image showed a ring of light, blurred by distance and dust, circling a dark center. It was the first direct glimpse of Sagittarius A, proof that even the darkest heart of our galaxy glows when seen the right way. And yet, what we see is not destruction. Around Sagittarius AC, stars continue to live and move. Some pass dangerously close, but most glide peacefully, orbiting in graceful ellipses. The black hole is not a monster devouring everything in sight. It is a guardian of balance, consuming little, keeping the galaxy's center stable. Its hunger is quiet, patient, eternal. Perhaps there is a kind of poetry in that the core of our galaxy, the place everything turns around, is not light, but darkness. that even in the brightest river of stars, it is the unseen force that gives meaning and form. The Milky Way shines because of what it encircles, not in spite of it. The black hole's silence is not emptiness, it is presence, dense and unyielding, the stillness that allows motion to exist. So, when you look up at the night sky and trace the faint band of the Milky Way, remember that at its heart lies this quiet, giant, invisible, ancient, patient beyond time. Every star you see moves in its orbit. Every cloud of light drifts in its gravity. Every one of us spins within its reach. Sagittarius A is not just the center of the Milky Way, it is the calm within its endless turning, the dark that makes the stars shine brighter, the silence that holds the song together. At the very heart of the Milky Way, where light thickens and stars crowd so closely they blur into one another, lies a shape both delicate and strange, a peanut-shaped bulge glowing softly at the galaxy's core. To the human eye, the Milky Way might seem like a perfect spiral, elegant and symmetrical, but if we could drift far enough above it to look down from the dark, we'd see that its heart is not perfectly round. It bulges slightly, rising and folding like a breath held in the center of the galaxy, a living form, full of motion. This bulge was not born still. It grew from the galaxy's bar, a long bridge of stars stretching across the center, spinning slowly like a great beam of light. Over billions of years, that bar has rotated, pushing gas and stars outward and upward, shaping the inner Milky Way into this soft, three-dimensional form. The result is what astronomers call a peanut bulge, or sometimes more tenderly, an X-shaped heart, a structure that reveals the galaxy's pulse, its restless interior. The bar itself is made of stars, billions of them, all moving together in an elongated flow. It is not rigid, but a river of light rotating at its own patient pace. As it turns, its gravity stirs the surrounding stars, lifting some above and below the galactic plane. Those lifted stars create the swollen lobes that form the peanut, glowing faintly when seen in infrared light. From afar, it would look as though the Milky Way were breathing, its center swelling and relaxing in slow cosmic rhythm. No one knows exactly when the bar formed, but it likely began when the Milky Way was still young and full of gas. Small ripples in its disk grew stronger with time until the stars began to gather into a central stream. That slow rotation became a force not violent, but steady, that shaped the core into the form we see today. The heart of the Milky Way, then, is not a perfect sphere of serenity. It is a living, turning engine, bending and twisting under the quiet guidance of gravity. The peanut bulge is a sign of that hidden life. It tells us that galaxies are not still pictures painted in the sky, but moving, evolving creations. The stars there orbit in loops and spirals, weaving through the bar's pull. Some climb above the plane, others dive below, together creating the illusion of a curved, glowing shell. If we could fly above it, we would see the Milky Way's center as a soft X of light, four gentle arms extending from a bright, spinning heart. Even here, near the galactic bar, the black hole, Sagittarius A, sits quietly small compared to the scale of the structure that surrounds it. The bar feeds it slowly, funneling gas inward, regulating the pace of the galaxy's heartbeat. In this way, the Milky Way's heart is both mechanical and organic, a system of stars and gravity that keeps the entire disk in balance, its rotation steady, its spiral arms unfolding with grace. Astronomers once thought the Milky Way's core was smooth and round, but when they peered through the dust with infrared eyes, they saw the truth. The heart was shaped like a peanut, slightly uneven, beautifully imperfect. It was a revelation that made the galaxy feel more alive, not a perfect machine, but something sculpted by time, motion, and gentle asymmetry. And perhaps that is why the sight of the Milky Way feels so deeply human. Its center, like ours, is not flawless. It bends, twists, carries scars from its past, yet it still shines with quiet power. The bar that runs through it is not a rigid beam, but a current, a reminder that even the strongest structures are made of motion. So, when you look up at the Milky Way and imagine its glowing heart, picture not a smooth sphere, but a warm, imperfect center, one that swells gently like a breath, shaped by stars rising and falling in slow waves. The galaxy's heart does not beat with sound, but with motion. It is alive in its own way, a cosmic pulse, a soft rhythm felt not in ears, but in wonder. The Milky Way's core is not still. It is turning, breathing, holding us all in the quiet embrace of its graceful, imperfect light. Deep within the dark arms of the Milky Way, far from the bright, glittering stars we see with the naked eye, lie enormous clouds of gas and dust, quiet, cold, and seemingly empty. But inside those clouds, something miraculous is happening. These are the stellar nurseries, the birthplaces of stars where gravity gathers invisible hydrogen into dense knots, and silence slowly turns into light. From afar, these regions appear as dark silhouettes, patches that blot out the stars behind them. They are so thick with dust that even starlight cannot pass through. Yet, within those shadows, the story of creation unfolds. Particles of gas begin to draw together under gravity's patient pull. The more they gather, the heavier they become, until the pressure inside rises and the first sparks of fusion ignite. In that instant, a new star is born, a sun emerging from the womb of night. The moment of birth is not quiet. The newborn star floods its surroundings with ultraviolet light, illuminating the cloud that gave it life. What was once a dark void now glows faintly in shades of blue and pink as the gas around it absorbs and re-emits the starlight. These glowing regions, like the Orion Nebula or the Great Eagle Nebula, with its pillars of creation, are among the most breathtaking sights in the universe. They are the galaxy's nurseries, where creation and destruction coexist in delicate balance. Each star born there carries a piece of the nebula within it. The same hydrogen that floats in those vast clouds will one day become the fuel that keeps the star alive for billions of years. Around it, leftover dust begins to swirl, forming disks that may give rise to planets, moons, and eventually, life. Every world that will ever exist starts here, in the quiet glow of a stellar nursery. The process is slow, so slow, that no human lifetime could witness it from start to finish. It can take millions of years for a star to form, and even longer for its light to reach us. Yet, when we look at the night sky, many of the stars that twinkle above were once hidden in clouds like these. Their light carries the memory of that beginning, a soft reminder that even in the darkest regions, creation never stops. Inside a nebula, there is both chaos and tenderness, Waves of radiation carve patterns in the gas, sculpting towers and valleys of dust. Shockwaves from older dying stars ripple through the clouds, triggering new waves of star formation. Every birth is connected to a death. Every light that shines was kindled by the fading of another. The galaxy breathes through these cycles, inhaling gas, exhaling light, keeping the rhythm of existence alive. To look at one of these regions through a telescope is to glimpse the Milky Way's heartbeat. The colors, blues, pinks, violets, are not just beauty. They are signs of energy, temperature, and time. The youngest stars glow blue, their light fierce and pure, their lives destined to burn quickly and end in brilliant explosions. Around them, dimmer stars are still forming, their glow hidden beneath the dust, waiting for the moment when they too will join the night. And though these stellar nurseries lie thousands of light years away, their influence reaches us. The sun, too, was born in one such cloud nearly 5 billion years ago. Its siblings, stars that formed from the same nebula, are scattered now across the galaxy, but they all share the same origin. We are, quite literally, children of the stars, the dust, that once floated in a stellar nursery, now breathing, thinking, and looking back toward the sky that made us. So tonight, as you gaze into the darkness between the stars, know that within those shadows, new suns are being born, invisible to our eyes, but glowing softly in wavelengths only the universe can see. The Milky Way is not still, it is alive, constantly creating, constantly renewing. Every flicker of light that will one day adorn the heavens begins in these hidden clouds, where gravity whispers, light awakens, and the universe begins again. Far beyond the bright spiral arms of the Milky Way, past the crowded lanes of dust and gas, lies a vast and quiet sphere, the galactic halo. It is faint, nearly invisible, stretching far beyond the disk that holds our stars and planets. From within it, the galaxy looks like a glowing lantern, surrounded by a soft, unseen aura, and floating inside that halo, like ancient jewels, suspended in the dark, are the globular clusters, some of the oldest, most enduring structures in the universe. Each globular cluster is a swarm of hundreds of thousands of stars, bound tightly together by gravity and glowing with a faint golden light. They are dense, compact, and astonishingly ancient, more than 12 billion years old, formed when the universe itself was still young and raw. Their stars are simple, poor in heavy elements, made mostly of the first materials the cosmos ever created, hydrogen and helium. They are, in every sense, the fossils of the Milky Way living relics of its earliest days. When you look at the night sky, you cannot see them unaided. They are too distant, too faint, but through a telescope, they appear as glowing spheres, each one glittering with countless points of light. At their cores, the stars crowd so closely that they almost touch, moving in delicate orbits that have remained stable for billions of years. Nothing in the galaxy is as enduring as these clusters. They have survived collisions, mergers, and the slow, constant pull of time. The halo itself, where these clusters live, is like a great celestial archive, a storage of memory, where the oldest stars keep the story of the galaxy's youth. It surrounds the Milky Way like a ghostly shell, extending for hundreds of thousands of light years. Most of its stars are ancient wanderers, their paths long and elliptical, crossing above and below the disk in quiet, endless motion. Unlike the restless arms of the galaxy, The halo is still and solemn, untouched by the cycles of creation that stir the galactic plane. In those clusters, we find the Milky Way, as it once was smaller, younger, and simpler. Each one holds clues about the galaxy's beginnings, the first sparks of star formation, and the raw chemistry of the early universe. Some clusters may even have come from other galaxies, captured during ancient mergers and carried along as souvenirs of forgotten collisions. Together, they form a mosaic of history, fragments of time suspended in space. If you could drift through the halo, the view would be unlike anything near the galactic disk. Around you, the stars would be sparse and pale, the space vast and silent. Every so often, you'd pass a globular cluster, a dense, golden sphere, shining softly against the darkness. It would feel like encountering a village untouched by time, a sanctuary where the stars have never known destruction. Even after all these billions of years, they remain steady, resilient, unbroken. While the galaxy's spiral arms twist and change, while new stars flare and fade, the halo and its clusters keep their quiet vigil. They are the memory of stability in a universe that is always in motion. And perhaps that is their lesson, that even amid creation and chaos, there can be endurance, a quiet strength that asks for nothing but to keep shining. The globular clusters are not just ornaments of the galaxy. They are its elders, its storytellers. In their ancient light, we see the reflection of time itself, patient, unwavering, and eternal. So when you think of the Milky Way, do not picture only the bright spiral band that fills our sky. Remember the halo, that vast, silent ocean surrounding everything we know. Remember the clusters, those tiny, golden islands of light that have watched over the galaxy since its birth. They are the keepers of memory, the witnesses of beginnings, still turning gently at the edge of forever. Every story in the universe, including yours, begins and ends with the stars. Long before there was earth, or oceans, or the sound of breath, everything that would one day become you was drifting through the galaxy as dust and light. Inside ancient stars, atoms were forged under unimaginable pressure, hydrogen becoming helium, then carbon, calcium, iron. When those stars died, they scattered those elements into space, seeding the galaxy with the building blocks of life. From that stardust, new stars were born and new worlds. The Milky Way is a great recycler, a cosmic gardener turning death into creation. Each generation of stars inherits the ashes of those that came before, shaping them into something new. You are part of that same process. The oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, all of it was once part of a star. Every atom within you once burned with light, and still the cycle continues. Somewhere in the galaxy tonight, another star is forming. Somewhere else, one is dying, casting its brilliance across time and distance. The Milky Way spins on, a silent wheel of renewal, its arms cradling billions of suns, each one a brief spark in the great rhythm of existence. Stars live, they die, and from their remains, new life begins again. When you look up at the night sky, remember, you are not separate from what you see. You are made of it. The light that reaches you has traveled for millions of years to find your eyes, and in that instant, the universe recognizes itself within you. You are a tiny warmth in an ocean of stars, a flicker of awareness born from cosmic fire. The galaxy turns, the stars are born, the light continues on, and through it all, you exist, quietly, beautifully, exactly where you belong. So, as you let your mind drift, feel the slow rotation of the Milky Way beneath you. Know that you are part of that motion, that your atoms are dancing with it, carried by the same forces that shape the stars. The universe does not watch you from afar, it holds you endlessly within itself. And now, as the light fades and your thoughts grow soft, let yourself rest. The galaxy will keep spinning, the stars will keep burning, and you, a spark of that same ancient light, can close your eyes and surrender to the rhythm of creation. If you happen to still be awake, you can go ahead and watch the next chapter now. I hope you sleep well and dream softly. Good night.